Okay. Let's get this going here. More rockets. More Kerbal Space Program. Oh yeah, I gotta figure out how to get a Hi Mosine. Figure out how to get a D-class asteroid around the moon. Still need to do temperature surveys of Minmus as well. Do have to find more contracts that are maybe a little a little more quick. Not easy, but quick. Actually, I came up with a naming scheme I like for our rockets. Mosine, what are you doing, babe? Mosine? What are you doing? Cats. Aren't they wonderful? Okay, so I'm not going to name this one yet. I'm going to come back to that one. So, let's see. We trimmed down our selection of rockets a lot yesterday. And we're keeping this one, which is meant for transfers to the... Mosine, what are you doing? Transfers to the moon or Minmus. This one we're gonna name. If I can find it. Sagittari. One. Oop. Alright, so our K3G3 Mooner transfer is getting renamed the Sagittari, which is, of course, Roman for an archer. So it seems appropriate since it's made to do a lunar shot for a light payload. So that's what I'm going to use. There it is. Did get the K5 yesterday. It's actually, I did want to see, before I go and do anything fancy here, I wanted to check crew launch vehicle, which we are going to need to rename as well, but I just wanted to see, this is pretty close to 7 tons, but I wanted to see if I can get this down to closer to 5 tons. I know the ablator is overkill. Probably like 12 would still be overkill. And that's got to reduce the weight a little bit. No, not really. Actually. Wow, that barely makes any impact to anything whatsoever. Now, I'll still do a little bit of it. Alright, and then we got to look for places to cut down weight. Probably the monoprop. I think that's a lot of monoprop. I don't need the center one, probably. Still 6.6. Well, I need 2 of these. So 6.5. Yeah, that's not working very well. So I don't think this is going to ever get launched on the new 5-ton launcher. I think that would be very insufficient. Well, that was one thing I wanted to check. All right. So, our new K5. Our most efficient costed rocket so far. Which, I mean, actually, realistically, I probably shouldn't even bother to use the now Sagittari. Was the K3 G3 lunar transfer, because I just use this. This is actually cheaper somehow. But this could actually be potentially difficult to fly this in that capacity. So, all right. So we named the K3G3 the Sagittari, which is Roman. That would be archers. Looking for... Hopefully I can get some of these pronunciations right as well. Let's see. I could have actually done a little better job planning ahead. Just want to take the headphones off for a second. Because I'm curious to see how this is supposed to be pronounced. I don't want to butcher it all too badly. Alright. I don't know if I even want to use that. It's not going to roll off the tongue very well. I just need to just accept the fact I'm going to butcher everything here. Some of these titles are kind of fun. Ah, here we go. Let's use this. So this will be the Optio. 1. So this is a 5-ton launcher. To low Kerbin orbit. Just my naming scheme, while initially seemed like a good idea, it just kind of fell apart when every single one of these just started having the same letters, more or less. Just I could have just called them 5, 7, 9 and accomplished that just the same, so it's kind of lame. Because originally I was not planning on just doing LKO launches to build craft in orbit. Or I didn't know that's what I was going to do, so I thought I'd be then building rockets to go straight to Moon, Minmus, Duna. That's not how we're going to do it, so. And the K7. I don't know how I feel about the K7. This is kind of expensive. 10.5. For only 1,000 credits more, we got a 9-ton launcher. Hello. I got a greetings from the Czech Republic. Welcome to the stream. I am currently naming all my my rockets because they have very horrible names, and I finally decided upon a naming scheme. Now, let's see. Wait a minute. These would I rather use? I guess I could keep the K7 for now. I don't know if I want to stick with that. So I'm going to actually just not even bother to rename that one yet. I'm not going to come up with a good name for that as of yet. But this one, our 9-ton launcher, be the Optio Heavy. And this would be our 9-ton launcher to LKO. We can then get rid of the K5 G5 and the K9 G5. So let's replace them. I don't know if I'm going to come up with a name for the K7 yet. K12. Still pretty cost effective. I am very happy about the Optio Heavy there, the 9-ton launcher. That is averaging I think our lowest cost per ton to orbit right now at only 1,250 credits. Or 12,500, I don't know why. No. I said it right the first time. 1,250 credits per ton. My brain wasn't working. Okay, so now... I'm thinking this would be our Centurion. And then we'll have some fun over on Minmus when I'm done naming everything. LKO. So we can get rid of that. Our 15-ton launcher. That's the 15-ton, right? Yeah. 15-ton launcher. Although I may investigate changing the engine on this one in just a moment. Let's see, Centurion 1 medium. Still have our 18-ton launcher, which would be the Centurion Heavy. So there, all we're doing is changing the amount of boosters. And keeping the craft the same. Oop. What am I doing? I'm having an odd day, I think. It's gonna then be fun when I go to land stuff on Minmus and blow it up. Anyway, 18-ton launcher to LKO. Put them in cost order. Might as well name our little satellite here, unless I've got better communication equipment, which I do. I've got better relay antennas now. Wow, that is a big antenna. I'll come back to that then. Which just means we can delete it. We don't need that deployable satellite anymore because we've got better ones. The Optio, Moonlander Mark II. I don't think we're gonna do anything with this anymore. Not to mention it's got the old engine on there. Yeah, I don't see us using this anymore. So let's drop that. We got the K18X1. Okay, the K24. What is going on? Why is it? Aha. Better. As I was saying, K24, so our 24-ton launcher. Let's come up with a name for this guy. Had one in mind, I think. Where is it? We'll just call it, we'll just call it, trying to get creative with names. Not that easy for me. Legionarius 1. Like maybe I should have made that the Centurion. Could rename it. Ooh, yeah, there was a cool one in here. Yeah, okay. That was the one I was going to use. Korean. Save Legionarius for another one. Which actually, I might name that one. This guy. Or come up with another 7-ton launcher, maybe. Name this one something. Something off. Arctarius one. I can name the craft themselves later. I don't need to be in a rush for that, I guess. Alright, now let's have some fun. Wasting enough time doing that stuff. All right. We are going to head off to Minmus here. Let's see what we can pull off. Our little probe down here. I'm going to try and get us to a better landing zone. Which actually, if I'm going to accomplish that, we need to first go to Surveyor 2. And activate the overlay. Perfect. So I can actually see what our ideal landing zone is going to be. Hopefully Surveyor comes back around in a little bit so I can actually plan this out better. Because I do want to find what our ideal landing zone is going to be. Because it should be right there-ish, right here. It's saying I am, according to these features, basically a direct shot opposite direction of the Minmus rover, come to think of it. So I could probably use that to my advantage. So I could say, set as my target. And then I know if I take back off with this, that if I'm heading away from target, haha, then I'm heading in the right direction. Intelligence! Something I rarely display. Alright, here we go. Flip over retrograde. It's going to do a short hop. Oh, that's beautiful. We should be heading right for it. We're right for the sweet spot. It's pretty decent altitude, actually. So I want us to be right at that perfect sweet spot where we should have the most ore concentration. Which, granted, there's better zones down here. But I'm going to overlook that for the moment because that's where we are now. And I just want to see how much better it really is. Okay, we're almost there, almost that zone. So I'm going to start canceling out our horizontal movement now. So we fall down to the target zone. I'm going to wait to cancel the vertical velocity until I get pretty much right at the surface. And suicide burn this one, if at all possible. It's going to be pretty much right where I wanted us to be. Poor broken Minmus rover. And this is still using its transfer stage to land. I've not had the need to eject that just yet. The actual lander's up here. And this gravity's so light, we don't even really need the landing legs. Although I tried this on the moon and it led to some interesting explosions. Let's wait till we're really close to the ground here. I just want to like really tempt fate today. Perfect. Didn't tempt fate as much as I thought I did. Next time I'll get even closer. Okay. Nice balancing act there. Now I can run our surface check, and yeah, ore is a little better, 11.53%, compared to the lander, or the rover rather, being over at 7%. So yeah, that's a pretty good spot to be on. I don't know why it shows us like we're below the surface. It's kind of freaky looking, isn't it? But yeah, I think that's going to be our target landing zone. I want to know if this green is like worse or better, because the yellow is not as good as the red. So I assume it's green is bad, red is good, and then yellow's in between that. That's what I'm assuming. And there's just nothing up at the poles. Okay, well, let's go to the Deep Space Gateway and prep another automated lander. We still have yet to put any actual crew down on Minmus's surface, since we have not had a successful test run of the lander as of yet. Had to rescue it on this last attempt. So we're going to load up the fuel and oxidizer. I think I might have just underfueled this in the original design. That might have maybe not been a good idea to only use that one tank there. Oh yeah, there's science to be had on there. I have not actually gone out and grabbed that yet. That's probably a good idea. Let's transfer some monoprop over to the monoprop tanks, since that's what saved this craft last time. Although it is also adding weight to the craft, so maybe that's not the greatest idea, but, you know, whatever. And we're going to keep using our backup lander here. Our prime lander we're going to keep in reserve for the moment for our first crew landing. Since this one's not going to be man-rated because of its lack of forward and reverse RCS thrusters. Due to very poor designing on my part. Now, is my stream quality just really bad tonight, or what's going on here? Can't rightly tell. From the playback I'm seeing, it's looking like it's kind of messed up. But, apparently not. Alright, I need to send the scientist out. See if he can collect the science data. Which actually, I didn't really think there was anything really to collect. I thought I transmitted everything. Or brought everything over to the lab, rather. But we'll find out. I'm only checking because I see that one goo canister that hasn't been reset. And I'm thinking I goofered something. Okay, let's see. Nope, it totally had science in it. Since he's a scientist, he can restore that. That's good. Okay. Moving past the nuclear transfer vehicle here. Which we do have to actually launch a new nuclear transfer vehicle because this one's not very good. Didn't really know what I was doing there when I made that one. So let's get this over to the lab. I'll boost our science output. Okay. Move him back to the crew module since he's our spare scientist. We have our 5-man crew, 3 scientists, 1 engineer, 1 pilot. So we've got 2 scientists actually in the lab now. I'm going to review the data here and science lab it up. Excellent. Okay, so they're still researching. Alright, we got a fully fueled lander now. All the ore has been emptied out of it. And we're going to send it on its way. Again, the problem of not having forward and reverse RCS makes itself apparent. It was a really poor design error there. Now, our other one over here actually has the forward and reverse thrusters. So that's the one we're going to use when we launch crew down. This is our reserve lander. Because of that little goof up. It should be free of this station now. We can redeploy the solar panels. Our refinery's hard at work. Alright. We want to go retrograde, which would mean we would burn directly into the station. So we gotta wait till that clears a little bit. I can kind of help it along a little bit with some more RCS. Alright, because that's the zone I want right there, actually. So if I just completely stop dead... Actually, probably want to wait a little bit so the rotation doesn't screw me over, but... do our deorbit burn. Almost to nothing. Then we're just gonna high-speed burn towards, well, not burn, but high-speed fall towards Minmus. Burning ever so slightly just to correct our potential landing location. We want to land for that little dot right there. Which actually, I can probably set our... Prospector probe as our target. I want to burn slightly this way. Slightly more that way. Good. A little bit prograde. Very good. Okay, and then we time warp a little bit. We just do like the slowest acceleration ever. I might just need to lower the station significantly because the Deep Space Gateway is really high up there. And this whole landing and taking off thing is going to be a pain in the butt. If I got to deal with the moon spinning below me. The moon called Minmus. Oh, and there's our scanner going away. Good thing we still have our target set. Didn't realize that was a thing that only lasted a set period of time. so we're going to have to do a little bit of correction. No, I could have just lowered our orbit and done that like a sane person. But we were already kind of in position, so I think that's the other part of this whole deal. Of me doing stupid things today. So right about there. Let's help us out a little bit. That didn't really help us out as much as I thought it was going to. This is how I end up wasting fuel. Yeah, next time I'm just going into a low orbit. Because this, while it looked at first like, oh, this is a great idea. Nope, not a great idea. Not a smart thing to do. Just aim retrograde real quick. Actually, more this way. Okay, that part's good. This is, again, how I waste a ton of fuel. I really goofed up this time. It's going to be another lander rescue situation. And this is why I'm still sending these unmanned. So possibly letting us get lower than I probably should. At a very high rate of speed. But I want to get us really like right over the correct spot here. I've used more than half our fuel, and it's going to take more fuel to get to orbit. So this is going to be just another really bad screw up. That's what this is going to be. 1.4 kilometers away. We're not even that close. After all that effort. It's going to turn into another mission to rescue with the tug. I just want to see how good can we get here. Ore rate 0.03 per second. Yeah, that is not a ton. Ah, boy. Now everything here works. We just wasted so much darn fuel doing this that it's not worth doing it. Yeah, we're gonna shut this down. Well, that's annoying. I basically immediately have to take it back off and go back into orbit here. So we're not gonna have the fuel to carry any significant load. Oh, that was a waste. I think maybe this lander design might be the big ticket here. I think this is probably not a great lander design. Just time warp to that first position. That is a tall mountain. It just kind of comes out of nowhere, doesn't it? Yeah, I'm definitely going to choose to chalk this up to just very bad lander design on my part. Well, we did get to orbit. Hmm. Well, the problem is we're going to end up in front of the station. We'll have to do probably a full orbit and get back into position to realign here. Try and do it here at the ascending node so we can do multiple maneuvers. So when we are there, it is going to be way over here. So nope, you're not going to be able to do that. We can probably do that here. Why is this being difficult? Let's focus on fixing the ascending node then. Make it just a little easier. So we'll be on the correct inclination. So we'll warp to that maneuver. So big flaw with our lander, it seems like. At least as a science lander, probably fine. But as a way to mine significant amounts of ore, no. Which actually I could have just picked up science from the surface when I did that too instead of being dumb, but you know, these things, they happen. I wish I made it so I could eject those off as well. This would actually be a better lander that way. Since I don't think we're going to end up using them. It's not on this one. Okay, we had a little bit too much of a burn there. Shouldn't be off by that much. Okay. Another orbit. Hope no one else's screen is frozen watching this. Mine actually is. I think I just jinxed it this time around. But I think it is actually probably just my one status monitor here. Alright, there we go. Now we can finally line up our rendezvous burn. Which actually looks pretty solid. Had a 0.0 there. 0.0 is good. Almost smashing into the station is good. We can always pull a progress mirror and smash into the station. Why not? It looks like mirror, the station. So, you know, just for old time's sake, let's do it. I do need to get these temperature scans as well. They're fairly low, though. I might launch a new one of those prospector probes to go and take care of that, actually. That's how I took care of the surface ones on the moon. Can't help but think that would be a good idea here. So let's line that up a little bit. We are very low on fuel. I'm Glad I did not make the attempt to load this up with any ore, or we would not make it at all. Ugh, overshot a little bit. That's not good. That is not good. That messes us up actually pretty bad. So what we're going to do is control point forward. Control from here. That'll let us switch to look. Wait a minute, where is it? Oh, I did a dumb. I deleted the maneuver node. Okay, set up a correction maneuver. Try and do this quickly. As quickly as I can. Oh, too far. Too far. There we go. Correction maneuver. Alright. We're in damage control mode now. The question of the day is, how bad did Steve screw up? Well, pretty bad. Okay. Didn't wait for the maneuver node, which is probably a bad idea. Yep, sure is. Another correction. This time we'll wait for the correct spot. Better. Much, much better. Okay. Now what is our relative speed going to be? 26.1. And we have 33 meters per second of fuel. Oh boy. Talk about running on fumes. That is going to be rugged. Oh, this is a bad idea. This was a bad idea. Alright, so we're going to switch to target tracking. Retrograde tracking. Oh god, okay, that was bad. I'll probably throw off our encounter a little bit. But it's fine. Control point back to up. And we are going to do our best to completely eyeball this intersect. Just 3 minutes away. So we're going to time warp it a little bit. Just a little bit. Oh, there's the loading distance. Okay, we're getting really close now, so we're gonna try and eyeball this. Those look kind of hot, don't they? Am I completely out of fuel? Nope, about to be. Alright. Sorta kinda success. Now the tricky part. I need to save the 7 meters per second of fuel as our forward to actually get to the port, because we don't have any forward RCS on this. So control point forward again. Those radiators supposed to be that red? Oh, nope, they're not. How do I stop? Don't blow up, please. Okay. What the heck are they doing? Is it because we ran out of ore? Sure is. We were running the plant with no ore in it. Well, it's a good thing I checked, because we were about to blow up our station. Lesson learned. This is not going to be safe to dock. Yeah, I really need to come up with something else for our landers, unfortunately. Might have spoken too soon with not using the Moonlander design again. Because I might be doing that. It's cutting it a little close. Oop, other way. Okay. So once again, cursing myself for the whole screwing up the RCS thing on this. Mm-hmm. Trying to get the alignment right. That's not good. We're back to this no forward and back thruster problem again. Let's just see if we can line it up. Okay, we can at least line it up. I'm not even looking at the wrong dock. That's why it's looking off. Okay, let's try that again. Okay, that's lined up. And this is why you always check your vehicle designs about 18 times before you launch them. Don't do like me. Alright. So it's there. Our radiators are slowly cooling down. Alright. Back to the drawing board. Things are not going as well there as it did on our moon station. While we're at it. Okay. Let's figure out how we can have a better lander here. And potentially, let's see if we can't get a prospector probe. Weighs 3.7 tons. We can cut this down a little bit. No idea what the heck this is. Oh, I see what it is. Okay, yep. Okay, this guy right here. This becomes, yep, about three tons. That's what I was shooting for. Okay. And then we can use a Sagittari. Which one? Put this by cost. Optio is actually cheaper. So I should probably just launch it how it was, huh? Five-ton launcher. Now we gotta fix it a little bit. Main engine and support towers go first. Second stage was after. We will probably need to blow the fairing before that. We will blow off the second stage and activate the transfer stage here, and then blow off that transfer stage and activate the landing stage there. Okay. And then we need to modify the probe itself. We don't need the surface scanner anymore. What we do need is this thermometer. And there we are. All right. Let's get this thing off the Minmus. Now that I've sufficiently done a dumb today, let's go ahead and try and rectify that. So a very simple prospector probe. On our currently cheapest active rocket. This is about as cheap as it gets. At least until they nerf some of these parts as well. They definitely nerfed the AJ-10. So we'll get this to 10,000 meters. Start pitching over. A little bit of fun wobble there. So this first step, it's just a matter of getting our apogee nice and high, our suborbital trajectory nice and shallow, as much as possible, so we can give our second stage the chance it needs to actually succeed. Which actually, at this point, this gravity turn's actually gone fairly well. I'll actually probably aim a little below the horizon. Sure can. Okay. Very good. Don't know why I didn't drop the fairing earlier, because I absolutely... Oh, no, never mind. Just got to 50,000 meters. Never mind. That was the proper place to drop it. I was just questioning myself when I shouldn't. Okay, so leveling this out. Okay. Get ready to kick on the second stage and separate. Once we get to our apogee. Try and have this pointing the right way around before we get there, although it is not agreeing with me very much. So we do not have very powerful reaction wheels in this, which is part of the cost savings, but still stinks. It's gonna be a 42-second burn. Okay, so we got our real time here. So we're gonna wait till we're about 20 seconds away. It should be 21, but we're gonna wait till 20, and we're gonna kick on this second stage here. Perfect timing. Second stage, completing our orbit. Very shortly. Nice. Kill that first maneuver. Alright, we can extend our solar panels. Extend our antenna. And while we still have the second stage, we're going to use it to actually do our inclination burn early, which is typically a bad idea. But since we have it, we're going to do it. And we're not lugging all that extra weight off to our minimus transfer burn. Yeah, this is actually a perfectly adequate 4-ton to moon or min-miss launcher for cheaper than our 3-ton. So I think our Sagittari is going to get retired already. I think I might end up renaming these then and just kind of like move them up the line. 1. Maybe not. I don't know. Sagittari was kind of one that was specific to that, I think. Okay, we'll start our 10-second burn. Yep, close enough to the correct inclination. How much fuel do we actually still... Wow, we're actually not bad at all on fuel in this stage. So what I might do is make a shortened upper stage for launching lighter payloads. And just be happy with that. Not bad at all. So now we need to plan out our min-miss transfer burn. Which unfortunately looks like it's gonna basically smack us directly into the moon. So let's kind of avoid that. Let's see how we do way out here. Yep, no, it needs to be like right here where it's gonna be. Hopefully not a problem. Yep, I guess no interaction that time with the moon. So that's good. And the question's going to be, do I use the proper transfer stage, which has more than sufficient delta V? And use that the way it's intended? Or do I try and use this second stage a little bit? I'm going to create space debris if I use this. Space junk. And that's going to be a problem. Because I don't have any way to make that, unless I dump fuel in it from the transfer stage, which I might maybe want to do slightly. But not fuel from what's supposed to be that. Is it worth it? Is the question. Really, no. Delta V. Because this way I've got 4586 delta V. Let's look at it this way. 4586. Okay. Now recalculate it, please, because that now doesn't have the fuel you think it has. Yeah, so now this actually loses me about 300 delta V, which is about how much I'd be ejecting off here, so that's a tough call. But I'm going to be just as well off dumping this now. As opposed to trying to use that engine. It's depressing. Actually, better off dumping it now. If I transferred fuel down here, I would get to use this 348 meters per second of delta V, but I would steal more than that up here, so I would end up having 600 less total delta V. That sucks. Well, it's gonna waste the fuel. I do like that you can make those calculations quickly now, though. That much is cool. Okay, getting ready for the Minmus transfer burn. So we want to be 19 seconds out. So right here. Stage it. Okay. Missed a window because I didn't stage the engine, but alright. Oh, overshot. Okay. Does that actually make our... Damn. So a little bit of retrograde burn to correct this. Possibly more retrograde is what I need right now. Yeah, I think so. So I don't want to have this moon encounter. There we go. Now I'll pass just barely in front of the moon. So there we go. New prospector probe on its way to take care of the temperature scan issue over on Minmus. Get that contract out of the way. Is there any mission I can do quickly? I do have to now come up with some kind of redesign for the lander. That'll be interesting. Component recoveries. Those are quick. I could probably do those. Much as that's not what I want to do right now. I mean, granted, this one I could probably do really quick as well. It's just testing a protective shell. To get the vector. I really gave myself a bunch of difficult contracts, didn't I? I don't know why I do this to myself. Well, we're doing good. We got a long run of completed. We have 0 failed, 0 canceled. So we are on a good roll. Now, I could trust those landers to put a Kerman on Minmus and close out these 2 contracts right away. Alright, let's redesign my part capture vehicle. Because I don't think I saved that. Yep, I did not. I did save this, though. Oddly. Why did I save this? This thing was an abortion. This is horrible. Alright. Let's see. How did I do this last time? So, we started with a control point in a 1.25 service bay. So I know we had that. Had one of these. I don't need it to be exact, I just need to have an idea of what I actually need to put on the vessel. So we need one of these guys. Okay. Then we need a little bit of RCS. Not a ton. Okay. It's weirdness. Alright, we need, Terrier engine should do. We're gonna want some cheap solar panels. Should do nicely. Gonna need some batteries. Again, don't need a ton of batteries. Okay. We need an antenna. Keep losing my chat for some reason. I like that page is frozen. Maybe I've been missing chat all along. Who knows? Anyway. That needs to go on. Then we need a protective shell. Like that. Go ahead and put that antenna on now. Ooh, that's right. I have better antennas. I can go and probably send something to Duna now as a probe. That'd be pretty cool. Or we could update our relay network. Fun. Infrastructure missions. Those are always a blast. Alright. Now, not a hint of sarcasm. Now, we need one of these decouplers the correct way this time. And we need a thermal shield to fit up into it, like so. Then we need a tube. we do have the larger structural tube as well, so I could get the larger component that we have in orbit the same way. That's worth noting. I think I might even have the right adapter for it already. I might not, though. I don't. Okay. But still. Still need a cheap core. To go in the center. With some battery. And then we need an advanced grabbing unit. There we go. So that is what will be inside the tube. Actually, even start it deployed if I wanted to. Put a long tube on so we can fit the part inside. And we're going to want some RCS thrusters. To control the vehicle. Alright, so that is going to be the actual capture vehicle. It will capture inside the bay. I'm actually forgetting one of the most important parts. Good job. Good job, Steve. Alright, we need fins. Many, many fins. Maybe 4. Maybe I'll get away with 4. Let's see. So, we'll have the part captured inside the tube. So part gets captured inside the tube. Fins make it re-enter facing this way, so it goes heat shield first. And then we need parachutes, which I'm also forgetting. And it's a good thing I am talking my way through this, because otherwise I'd be forgetting some pretty important stuff. So we're going to want some parachutes. What I'm going to do, get those a little closer and put the go anywhere RCS thrusters here. Better. So parachutes and probably some drogues just to be safe. Okay. One more time. We're going to talk us through this. So, part goes in the tube. Aim retrograde. This engine deorbits us. This pops off, exposing the heat shield. Fins keep us pointing in the correct direction. Parachutes, well, drogues then parachutes, then splash down safely. So if I consider all that, if I reroute this, let's say to the heat shield, and I pop this off for just a second, this should have, yes, very good aerodynamics for re-entry. That is perfect aerodynamics for re-entry. We are going to have to compensate on the launch vehicle to make this even close to safe, but that's fine. Now last time was very close to this, and we needed the X-12. So let's go ahead and rename. So put that on. All right, we're gonna need the Centurion 1. And we're gonna have to modify the Centurion, I think. Yes, definitely. Because our center of aerodynamic resistance is very high in the rocket. It'll cause the rocket to tip over around the center of mass, which is going to, of course, be way down here. So, yeah, that'd be a very tipping prone rocket. It would just go crazy. Everything would be awful. So we're gonna put a couple of these tail fins on, which are gonna still be insufficient. Well, the question is, okay, they should be sufficient when these are gone. This is taking a little bit of a gamble here. If I do this way. Wonder, can I get more out of these Delta ones? No. Nope, they are about the same. And they cost the same. Okay, makes sense, at least. How do I want to handle this? Sure, fuel burns from the bottom first. Just do that. Double fin it. Double fin. Alright. That is probably more like what I'm gonna do. So let's remove that stupid fuel priority thing. Because I don't know even if I did that right. And I don't want to mess it up. Alright. So this monstrosity should do the job. We just need to make sure all the staging is correct now. So those all fire. We need our thuds. Okay, so we got a Reliant, 2 thuds, 4 boosters, 4 towers separate. That all looks good. Then we have the second stage separate and Poodle fires for second stage. Perfect. Then we got to make sure that the boosters separate once they're burned out. Before we activate second stage, this is a long burning first stage, so we're gonna have the fairing drop very high on there. Get rid of this fairing section. Then we need to, once this is in orbit, pop open the bay itself. Yep. Okay. Then we are going to activate the engine going the other direction. Okay, then we separate to expose the heat shield. Then we've got 2 sets of drogues. And then we got main chutes. Alright, this should do it. Let's see if we can repeat our previously successful capture mission. Infinitely better than using a space shuttle. At least in my opinion. Because I hate the space shuttle. That's why. It's a bias. It's a bias. I'm not gonna lie. So we want this component right here. So we need to wait for it to be in a good position. So we're gonna time warp it around. That should be where we need to launch. I don't know why the RCS is firing. Alright, off we go. So we ride out the solids to about 10,000 meters. Newly renamed Centurion 1. Solids are gone. A little earlier than I thought. Let's keep riding this out a little higher. And then we start our gravity turn. Keeping an eye on pitch control, which thankfully we have an abundance of with this design. Things are getting kind of hairy there. Wanted to tip a little more than I wanted it to. But that superior gimbaling, definitely the advantage of this design over using a Bobcat. Better gimbal and roll control. More thrust as well, although at the cost of a higher weight. And higher price tag. But not by much. On either account. Okay. Drive us a high and shallow apogee. Or, I always say that. And I always say it wrong. It's a high and shallow suborbital trajectory is what I want. I know the words I want to use. I can articulate them. I just don't use them properly for some reason. Almost ditched the fairing. Yeah, now's the time to shallow out as well. Again, superior gimbal control helping us. Excellent. Fairing drop. Deploy our solar panels. I didn't put any way to deorbit that second stage, I just realized. Hate when I do these things. I hate when I do these things. Okay, that's fine. A 42-second burn. I'm actually going to taper it down a little bit. Want our periaps just barely in the atmosphere. So 41 second burn. So at 20 seconds to node, we're going to switch off to second stage. We kept this section on just to ride the extra momentum up through the atmosphere. Okay, so Poodle engine now working on getting us up to just barely less than orbit. I knew I was forgetting something. I always forget the retro boosters. Okay, so it's just barely in atmosphere. We're going to ditch the rest of it. We're going to reverse the control point. Complete our orbit. And actually raising this should start working on improving our next intersect. Theoretically. Because we're going to be ahead of it. Right? Is that right? Can't even really see. Which one's target position, which one's regular? It's not changing because this node isn't changing. Oh, okay. Whoops. That was a thing I should have paid attention to. Better. Just trying to plan out our intersect without hopefully going into the atmosphere. Not bad. Not all that bad. But here we're going to need to increase our altitude slightly. Okay. Timing's still more or less spot on. I get the altitude right. And fix the timing. Got a bit of an ascending node burn requirement here. Don't know why that completely screws us up. But okay. What the hell? How did that get... Oh, it changed our target, didn't it? It changed our target. Yep. That's what it did. So first the ascending node correction, then opposite of it on the orbit. Need to raise our altitude. And then fix the timing. Altitude again. Timing again. Altitude again. Timing again. And there we go. Okay. Warp most of the way to the first maneuver. Look at that. That is going to be awesome. Why do I hate contract part return missions again? I always forget. Is there a real reason? Do I just think I hate them and I don't? Because this is cool. This just looks cool. It's probably the actual docking, I think, if I remember right, that went poorly before. But I think that was just because of the whole game not knowing what to do about physics situation. Where I had a separator attached that for some reason wasn't hollow when it appeared hollow. Got a very quick burn here. Which I just dragged out way more than I should have. But we should still have a good intersect. Why does it keep clearing our target? There we go, 0.2. Relative speed's actually going to be pretty small as well, so that's pretty cool. Still got our refueler to get up on the space station as well. It's in horrible position right now, though. I'm in bad position for retrograde to target as well. Good job, Steve. Thankfully, the speed was not much to begin with, so we didn't lose much there. All right. Let's go check out our quarry. See if we can't get in close to it. Inspect the part real quick, and then see if we can just load it as is without using a... We have used other grabber drones before to load one of these kind of things. Obviously not the exact same design, because I just sat and redesigned it, because I never save these things. I want to see what kind of part this is. What is that? Is that what I think that is? Really? Yep. It's totally a little tower for emergency abort. An escape tower, launch escape tower. Alright, that's a curious thing to want to recover from space. But who am I to judge? They're the customer, so let's just make it happen, huh? Try and aim behind it a little bit. Yeah, this is kind of an overkill craft for a part that size. Wish I'd realized it was that small. I mean, granted, any smaller than this, tubes... I mean, I could have gotten rid of it. I could have gotten away with the 18 instead of the 25, but whatever. Whatever. Okay. Get ready to load that into the bay. This looks pretty good. I'm gonna have to do a little bit of change here to align this properly. Okay. Do the rest with RCS. Alright, in you go, little launch escape tower. And there we go. We have capture. And we can work on getting this sucker back. Totally ridiculous. But hey, it's what I do. This is how our space program works here at Dudecology Bro. A lot of water under us at the moment. I'd rather just get this thing on the ground rather than wait to come all the way around. You know what? No, I'm gonna go all the way around. We're gonna do things good and proper. Let's try and land it fairly close to KSC. So we want as an aggressive deorbit as possible. Just gonna be that. We're gonna peg it right there. I'm gonna time warp it the rest of the way in. Now there is rotation of Kerbin below us while we're time warping, so this is something we have to keep in mind. And this is going to be a long burn as well, so there's that as well. So 1 minute 27, so like 45 seconds away from the node is where we want to start burning. So coming up on it real quick now. I'm going to aim directly at the target node, or the maneuver node, rather than the retrograde node. Actually, at 44 seconds we should want to burn. Alright, here goes. Here goes, trying to return a part to KSC. Safely. A little bit of a boost. Might as well use the monoprop if I have it. Okay, now, with that last bit of monoprop, what we're going to do... Nope, don't waste the monoprop on that, please. Please don't do that. Okay. Aim back prograde, please. There we go. Now, we do... Okay. Eject that section off with the RCS. Okay. That actually didn't work too badly. I kind of almost goofed it up, but then I didn't. So, there's that. We're landing way in front of the KSC. Okay, we're about to hit re-entry here. Thankfully, heat shield first. Now the fins in the atmosphere will keep this steady. This is stable design. As is, and we're out of radio contact for the moment. That's not good. Hopefully that comes back in time for us to actually land this thing. It should. Once the ionized gas separates, yep, we're back to having control once more. We can deploy the drogues now. I'm gonna wait just a little longer. Make sure it's safe. The drogues are out. The parachutes do all the work from here on out. Total overkill. There's at least one contract down for the day. Total overkill on the ablator. Was that 1% of the ablator used? At least we get to recover it. How gently that's touching down. We drowned it a little bit, but it's still good. Part contracts. Always fun. We got a decent amount of money for completing the contract. Yeah, it's for one of those craft. So we're not... Still will require an even larger version, unfortunately. I might get away with it. But, because I'm tired, and we are admittedly slightly past our usual stream schedule. Stream schedule. I'm going to check our space stations once more for science, because that's one of my favorite things to do. We did do a little bit of time warping today. Tomorrow, I think I will try and put a Kerman down on Minmus finally. At least I've proven I can land and take off with those landers twice. Even if I won't be able to mine with them necessarily. Science craft, they will be fairly... Alright, so the Jeb Kerman station. 6 I have 1 day of 1 day of time warping. That's we'll check out the Deep Space Gateway and make sure it's cooling down the way it... Yes, indeed. Okay, everything's... So that's a good lesson to know. That's something very important. Make sure you're without ore. We're back. Okay. Tomorrow we'll send our prime lander off. This guy right here. With a science down on Minmus. Let him explore. Let him gather science. Do all kinds of greatness. And for now, we got to figure out better nuclear. Try and design a better nuclear transfer vehicle than the one we had. Now that we finally have the core piece we need. So now. Keep that in mind. Capsule too, but it's not really. I've already got a 3-man cap that I actually like better. So I don't know. We want 5 service. That's our new best friend right there. We've got that there. We can put this down in the... We've got plenty of room for our... Looks kind of neat. And then... larger batteries. Okay, that looks pretty cool. I like... So that's got all our good stuff in it. Okay. We've now got the big docking ports. We've got this guy right here. And then we're here. How much does this weigh? 22. Like enough that we could just get away with this. Of course, we would need better communications. Which, if it's going to be a transfer vehicle. Wow, that looks ugly. Really a sin. Well, it looks a little goofy, but if we're gonna have this as a long range, I mean, it's kind of par for the course, isn't it? That would be overweight. Can't do that one. So the waiter, hold on, let's put a bearing. Yeah. But I think that's within limits we can tolerate. It has to fan out though for these goofy antenna. So we go on record saying that's a little better. Slightly less goofy. Slightly lighter. Okay. Oh, of course. Okay, and then we'd need a K-24, or still calling it the old one, the Curian, which I might make this the Centurion, and the Centurion the Optio, and the Optio the Sagittarius, because the Sagittarius is kind of pointless, but whatever, I'll figure it all out later. So this would be it. This would be our new nuclear transfer vehicle. I'll consider launching that soonish. It will be very expensive, as you can tell, so maybe not in a rush to do that. Should I name some of these other craft, too, before I go? Or the crew launch vehicle. This would be the Actarius. Well, hold on a second. Make sure that that's actually correct. Bacterius. Okay, yeah, that looks about... Yeah, so that's correct, at least. I do need the thrust limiter set down a little bit, but I'll remember that later, I hope. Okay, so we'd have to name our capsule, our 3-man capsule. And we'll keep the Actarius specifically to launch that. So let's see, what would we... Armakustos. That'd be a good one. Actually, I feel like I should swap those. Let's call this the Actarius capsule. Oh. Actarius 1. 3-man capsule. Whoop. Ooh. Low map for Kerbin Station launch. Resupply. Better. So you've got soldier tasked with the administration of supply weapons and equipment in Roman times. Just be a military or camp clerk. Fancy. Alright, so that's one. Don't save it with the rocket on it, please. Oh, that means we need to now delete. We're also going to delete the Minmus lander because it's awful. Lander tug we never used. Landing drone or lighting drone, get rid of. Launch vehicle D. Just down. So that's gone. This is an interesting rescue craft idea I had. But could actually be useful. It's kind of the same frame as the crew line. One. A docking port. Pair of engines that are a little better. In this case, spark engines. Sure, just okay. Now that one. That. Fantastic. New and improved version. Okay. Cut down the 2 of those. Keep the weight low. This is a blader way down. Even coming from... Let's get rid of 2 of these monoprop tanks. Again, to keep the weight down. Reaction wheel. How heavy are those? Make it worth it. Could short fuel it slightly, but I think this would probably be, if I'm honest. So this would be a crew rescue vessel. Sorry, everyone. So, medical orderly is what that would be in Roman times. With the claw. So, IQ craft I'm coming from, picking up and bring him home in the capsule. So that's good for those little contracts, those Uber mission contracts. The original nuclear transfer vehicle I'm just gonna delete. That I'm gonna need. Mm-hmm. Do better than this. Yeah, get rid of that. Our poor lunar explorer. I'm glad we only used this once. This thing was a tragedy. Look how simple our first lander was, though. Lander was very basic. moon mission. Keep it just for the moment. Nah, no. Doesn't belong. No longer need that. Tiny cord. A is no longer single Kerman. Same with crew launch vehicle B. That now with the claw, which is back. B1 science module can go. Fuel resupply craft, maybe, even though it's a 3-ton. We have the different probe buses. These are useful. Crew launch vehicle C. Which one was this one? Oh, yeah, this one's junk. So we can get rid of this as well. Cool. The XJ6, but the XK2 and XK5 I'll keep. Station transfer vehicle. Guess I need to reference it in the hangar. Usable land RCS harness. Nope, it can go. This guy. Yeah, this was the last of our A-15. And unfortunately, it's not really worth it anymore. For doing the yeah, we'll keep it for the moment. Or fuel tanker, so fuel tanker capability. This probably does have to get updated. So we can have the new docking ports. Of cleanup, I think. Well, maybe. Still got these guys. Launcher. So I can actually make this a little heavier if I needed to. This would be to Jebediah Kerman Station. And if it's already going to be cheap to use the 9-ton launcher, I might as well take advantage. Okay, that's a little extra weight. Monoprop's just a little light for this, I think. Like, kinda does it, but not very elegantly. Speaking of not doing this elegantly, so if I add a pair of these, yeah, that should do. Okay. This would be refuel supply. So let's name it something silly. RE1 version. And supply. All right. So heavy. Not bad. This is just like a mini version. What I should do is make a liquid fuel boosted version of this. So it's a little safer. Maybe. Well, I think I'm done playing around with that for one night. I'm MSLMing stuff a lot today. But if you want to catch some of our previous stuff, which was actually a little bit more exciting than this, although we did have our fun today, you can check it out down at the bottom of the screen on our YouTube channel, Dude. And if you want to catch our newest stuff between 7 and 9 Eastern Standard Time, as you can clearly see, I sometimes run late, and that's actually double times. Anyway, wow, did break into the chat? Is that the right way to do that?